Perfect positioning. I love your style. Heck versus hell. All right, everybody, we are into part two, which we had our little break. Probably seeing this in another video, but if you're new and familiar to just getting on part two of our segment, which the first one, well, let me just start from the roll call. This is Lexus T from RDDC, which is Real Double Dose channel, and as well as Echo Rivera over here giving us a little bit of extra synopsis from his Heck versus Hell with the truth he tells every Friday on the RDDC platform. If you want to check that out, remember to go to realdoubledosechannel.com, realdoubledosechannel.com, and this is the segment of the Truth Seekers Mastermind Alliance. Mouthful, but we got fullness to give. So this is part two. The other one was the attack of foundations. We'll get the name of that correctly. And this over here is the second part before we took a little miniature bean dip. I call my bean dip. Got to get my frijoles in there. A little miniature synopsis to having a little bit of refreshment. So this
Little
is
bean break.
yeah. What is it? You can go into this, Heck, because I keep forgetting the names of our segments just in case you're new here for it. But check out the links wherever they are, and you'll find more else about us or more content of our broadcast syndicate, podcast syndicate that's been on for several years, and as well as where we're entering more of the space of video now on YouTube. But you can also check out some TikTok at the Mother Goddess Lexus T.
Yeah. So this one's gonna be a good one. This one is going to be following the thread, or follow the thread rather, and it's gonna be based off of, we kind of touched up on it a little bit, but we want to go into the conversation of being conscious of certain ways that we are, right,
Mm-hmm.
that have came from different things. So this is called follow the thread because it's like a thread on your shirt. You know, whenever you start pulling, you start unraveling the truth. Okay, so that's why we call it follow the thread, because then you go and you lead it, you let it lead you to where it comes from, where the foundation of a certain way you are, a certain belief that you have, whatever it may be, where it comes from, where
Mm-hmm.
it started out, so we can begin to understand ourselves, right, and take off those garments of falsehood, of who we were never meant to be, of who we became, that muffled who we truly are. You see what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Complete
that's
suppression, all that stuff when you come
yeah,
out. Yeah.
yeah. It's
Not
just
who we are, not who we were meant to be, but who we are called to be.
mm,
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Bars. Ah.
But yeah, that's kind of what it is too, because you were talking about thoughts, about certain thoughts that we have, or certain actions
Yeah,
that we
that was a
take.
previous segment, everyone. So just that's what we're piggybacking off of right now. This is the second part of it, but it is still attacking foundations. And this will just say part one, part two, do of having that conversation of the thread. I can't remember the beginning.
Now this is gonna be like a whole different one.
I
We're
know,
gonna
but
have that whole part two. Yeah, we're gonna have that whole part
but
two.
it's still okay. But it's not a whole different one because it's all the way because we still have
Hmm.
it from we're coming on here without our
It's like a
normal
feedback.
introduction
Yeah.
for part two. See, Heck has a different way of doing stuff that I've been doing for almost a decade now. It's like so it's kind of like his way is more boom, mine's more like give more detail, but that's how we balance in between of what we're doing. But this is a part two from what we were speaking of earlier that can connect the foundations of why we're getting to the thread being pulled. So that's what I meant to say. If you don't mind that, Heck.
Oh,
Yeah.
not at all, not at all, not
Don't
at
don't, don't worry about
all.
me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, we could give an example. What would be a good example of that? We could go off of that, yeah, of that previous conversation when it comes to like how we perceive ourselves,
Mm.
right? We
Well,
could
I
say,
would say mine is to the point where I started looking at myself on the couch when I was younger, seeing the
hmm
commercials. Now I grew up more so in the '90s. Seeing, well, I wouldn't say grew up, but growing up into the '90s. I can't say I grew up in the '90s. I would have to be more so on a 10, 11, 12 cusp, which I wasn't at that point. But it was looking at myself in the mirror and noticing that I didn't look like the woman that they were showing. And of course, they didn't have a lot of morenitos or people of color, especially back then. So you could barely see anybody of color on screen. So that made me like that. And my sister had the complexity or the complexion complex of Alicia Keys type complexion or Mariah Carey's type complexion with like kind of like hazel green eyes and lighter hair and stuff like that. So and same dad, we just have so much diversity. And then my oldest brother was the same way. So I was looking. He's a different dad, but he still came out that way. So I was thinking to myself, man, you know, I'm completely out of it. And I'm gonna say this not for people to embrace it, but for you to relate to it. I
right,
did. I sat there for a long time and I was thinking, man, God, you cursed me. Even learning about God, I felt that way. I was like, why would you curse me with this complexion of skin? Like, and being the second girl, why would you, why was I given this, body type? Why wasn't I given what that perfection is or anorexic looking at? Back then, it was like they literally had, if you looked in the shopper's guide, there's women that looked like they couldn't be any bigger than a toothpick at this point. Um,
mm,
I just didn't find that place of feeling that. And even though my sister wasn't, quote, very bony or whatever it was, it's just kind of like everyone gravitated towards her because that's what it was supposed to be. And I couldn't tell if it was because she was the eldest one or because of her looks. So I would
right,
hate that where I was like, man, when I get older, I'm gonna see if I can find something to get my complexion different. When I get older, I'm gonna make sure I do. And I thought to myself after a couple of years, it's unrealistic because I was thinking, man, I'm gonna have to go get bleaching cream. I'm gonna have to go do something with my eye color. I'm constantly gonna have to keep up with trying to look like a whole different person just for someone else to possibly not say desire, but possibly accept me like
Mm.
in that way. So I was like, man. Then I thought to myself, wait a minute, I'm different, and I don't fit into the norm of miserable looking people who try to fit into the quote wannabe norms. So I was like, I like me. That's cool. I don't have to go to a certain. After so long, I was like, I'm just tired. I'm
Yeah.
tired trying to do this. Tired trying to keep up. Keeping up with the Joneses is what's going on. Like I don't need to do that. But yeah, people stem from that, and their whole identity becomes the thread pulling on. It's one thing after another. Get your hair done, get your skin together, get your even tones, get your eye color. Here's some contacts to
Mm.
give you different eyes. Now I don't mind the cool looking cat eyes and different ones they have, but I was like, okay, let me get blue eye contact, this, all this. And I'm like, well, at the end of the day, if I don't keep up on the maintenance, it's gonna go away.
Right.
So I'm constantly gonna be striving for that and then have to live with life and a career and this and that. And I'm like, nah, man. Maybe it was the Aries in me, but I was like, I got time for that. If somebody wants to hang out with me and be cool, that's fine. If I had to be a single parent, that's fine. And my mind back then was like there was no one in the world for me. I was gonna be the oddball forever. But that's where a child's mind would think, that's your only
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh
So
yeah, a lot of those we got to follow into childhood, and that's
mm-hmm,
how that's why I kind of look at it too. Is like whenever I looked at why was I so docile to an extent,
mm-hmm.
I had to like look at that and follow it. Go like, okay, well, let's go back, a couple years. Was I like this a couple years? And I'm like, well, a couple years ago, I was actually like the complete opposite. I was over here like trying to start everything, start fights with everyone. But I went back further, and I realized, growing up in school, I would try to be like the best, basically the best student, the best child, just always listening, always complying because
Mm-hmm.
I wanted some type of acknowledgement from my parents. So
Yeah,
I was like, I was just such a, I'm gonna follow the rules, I'm gonna do this, and even to the point where I was an A honor roll student, but it was still like it didn't feel like it was enough. You know what I mean? So it's like that's
yeah.
where I kind of went and I reversed that, and I just broke free of that, and I'm like, all right, you know what? I don't care no more. I'm gonna do what I want to do.
I felt
And I
that.
remember, I do remember going back to even the age of 3 and 4 and 5. I was rebellious, so that's where it kind of came from. I was
Yeah,
naturally
give
like
us a
that.
little bit of feedback. What you mean by rebellious? Tell us.
Like I was naturally aggressively stubborn and hard-headed.
Mm,
And I realized that, hey, my parents don't like this, and as a child, we have such a limited perspective. We're like, okay, well, if they don't like this, they don't like me, and if they don't like me, they don't, love me, and then they want to
that's
get rid of
true.
me. They're not gonna feed me, and we just go on this little tangent of
I
trying to
like that.
be,
I
yeah,
like
trying to be who we need to be for our parents in a way.
that. Mm.
So I felt a lot like myself whenever I went into that whole just doing whatever I wanted to do kind of YOLO lifestyle, and
Or it's
it.
more of an Alistair Crowley dual style Wills kind of lifestyle.
Mm,
Well, I'm not saying that we did, but that was his perception of putting it out there to reverse the Bible. And those
yeah.
churches and those Satanist churches, you read the Bible reversed, you say the holy prayer reversed, you say that to mock. I just want to say
Mm,
that to the skeptics out there. I just want to say, if okay, we had a gentleman who was upset about the Quran and different stuff when it comes into religious confines. But what I say overall, regardless of denomination, why is it so hard for everyone to get their minds wrapped around it? But the Satanist church knows how to be reversed only to the Bible. Think about that. The
why does
biggest
every
thing.
religion acknowledge Christ?
Yeah, exactly. And why does every religion have to go against the fact of Christ even being here way he did? It's like you focus. It's like too color. Why is it always against a certain particular race? Why is it always trying to suppress that race? They're trying to wash it, right? Let's wash it out. It's always something lying. But anyway, I just want to throw those seeds out there of something else going on because we have to let those germinate and kind of grow at that point. But I
Hmm.
understand the rebellious, because I felt that too, where I was trying to like let me be the person that's yes, okay. But then
Right.
I got so okay. So for everybody, from disclaimer, if you are under the age of 18, I'm not going into details. You can hear more about it possibly in my book or different conversations I have with you more direct, like I did in the past. But pero overall, I look at the fact that my abuse made me feel like, man, I want to comply and do as I'm told because I don't want to get hurt any more physically than I did. And abuse, mine's probably like three different kinds at the same time at that moment, which was mental abuse, physical violence, and sexual abuse. So it was kind of to the point where I was like, okay, I was tired of being told what to do and being scared if I didn't fall in line, what would happen. And then I got tired of keeping everything a secret. And then even going to school, it was a lot of people that were from the caucus, direction, where I was the only kind of my Cambodian friends, they had their browner complexions, but I was the only one that kind of stood out in the class apart from that. So I felt like, man, no matter what I do on the spotlight, I'm the one who sticks out in the best way, but I'm also the one who's targeted. So I don't know how other people felt with that, but I felt like, man, danged if you do and danged if you don't, right? Or damned if you do and damned if you don't. I went home and it was like my sister was the firstborn girl. So it was like she was up under my mom. They just call her her shadow. And I just call my sister my mom. But there's other illnesses that were spiritual and mental that she was dealing with that I was casted out to have those issues of colorism, to have those issues of beauty, because it was personified everywhere else. But also with her, it was conversations of me not being enough as her little sister because I was a darker complexion
Mm.
or I looked a certain way or I looked more like my dad at that time. So I was really going through it from the TV to out here. The world didn't explode like it is since hashtag rest in peace George Floyd and beyond. It didn't. None of this existed. Okay, so it was almost like I felt like it was almost a slavery complex from being of different cultural diversities and then growing up in that. Like you really didn't have much of a voice of a color person even in the early '90s or late '90s. Excuse me. It was a different kind of feeling, at least in the Midwest, that from where we were. So I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't grow up with cultural segments like that. It was just kind of like our own little community, our own home community. It wasn't like, hey, we have this over here with this culture, this culture. It was like I didn't know how to act around anybody's culture. I was just a kid culture of the family. But yeah, I resonate with you, Heck, because it was to that point, or everybody out there, it got to that point of where my beauty perception was: if I comply by the rules, I'm still hated. If I
Right.
don't comply by the rules, I'm still ignored. What can I do at this point except focus on what I want to do? Even if it hurts your feelings or not, or you like it, why are you worried about it? You don't like me anyway.
Hmm.
So I don't know if you're on the same cusp or how I felt with that, but I just wanted to add my little extra sentiment and shit.
Yeah, I mean, it was that same way, that looking at it like, well, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Well, I'm gonna do what I want to do,
Yeah.
and it wasn't even like not more so on the Aleister Crowley like you were saying, but more so like,
Oh, come on. He had to go
mm,
from that one. Well, no, I
yeah,
mean, even the shirt that, I don't know why Jay-Z was rocking it, but it said, do as thou wilt. And that's the quote from that.
mm,
His mantra was the same thing with Diablo. Do what you want. Eat of the
yeah,
fruit. Surely you won't die.
yeah,
It's okay. So it doesn't mean that, but yeah, we're all doing an Aleister Crowley boom boom. Not to give him all the credit, but we're all doing that when we want to do what we want. Do as thou wills, because you can say YOLO, you only live once, but in our mindset, we live forever. We don't have a death point. When you don't
mm,
know death, you don't have a death point. So I had to take it from your YOLO to do as thou wills, because it was like, well, do whatever you want. Who cares who it hurts or
yeah,
bothers? You're not accepted anyway.
yeah,
I still
yeah.
thought about that with sin too. You're a
That's true.
sinner. How does a little child understand at the age of abuse sinning? You already said, well, I'm a sinner already. I didn't even try to be a sinner. I was inflicted upon me. What am I doing? Well, I said too. Okay, Lord, well, you're not going to love me anyway. I mean, look at me. You gave me the worstest look and complexion and height and everything else and weight, whatever else. You already damned me from birth compared according to the world. But then at the same
Mm,
time, I'm thinking, you can't love me. I'm just a mistake you had right along with my mom, and she doesn't want me either. None of my dad. So it's like, okay, well, do what I want. Why? If it hurts you, that's fine because you hurt me the moment I was born. That's how I felt. As I looked at the reversing of it, I realized I was given the best that there ever could be. Do I look in the mirror and say, oh, I want to get this? A lot of women say, I want a breast lift, I want a tummy tuck, there's different things I would like to modify so my body will feel better in my clothes. But ultimately, I could just have a nice bath, go get me a hot cup of cappuccino or some tea and relax, and I'll be fine. And if someone was to come around and say, well, I don't like this, or you should lose a little bit of this, you should gain a little bit, I'd be like, that's a nice suggestion, but when's the last time I cared about what you had to say? I don't care. I'm like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, that's nice. It's different if I'm sitting there and they're like, hey, can you take a shower already? It's been 3 weeks, I'll be like, oh, like do unto others, you would have them do unto you. That's how I feel about it. So I do know rebellion comes from that. And the thread itself was just this anchoring on this as
right.
we get older. Okay. And this is what guys are attracted to. And I noticed the girls that look like the quote picture perfectness, because I mean, size was a big thing back then. I mean, if you even had a little bit of weight on you, it was like, oh, like if you weren't bony and growing up in that phase, it was like, oh, you could be as ugly as sin. Excuse me. I mean, beauty's in the eyes of the beholder, but you could just have the most unattractive face. But as long as you were skinny, you fit. I
That's
never
true.
had that problem growing up, though. For me, my world was created without me understanding of a Heyoka or a seer or indigo or anything from the prophetess tier. I had to create my own vision. That's what kept me through the abuse. Pretending, hey, once this is over, I get a chance to pretend I'm with Peter Pan. I get a chance to go and play with my Barbies and my tea. This will pass. This too shall pass. That's what kept me. But I didn't really, we don't know what all those things are labeled until later on in life. But I was thinking that, man, like, yeah, it just didn't, I guess, come together the way I thought it was going to be. So I kind of looked at that, and these trolls out here too. They'll sit there and go on videos, and every people. I would look at other people's comments, and I'd be like, man, why are there always trolls? But then I remembered, if you ain't got haters, baby, you ain't doing something right. That's what it is. Like you got to have your
That's
haters be your
true.
motivators, right? They elevate you even higher. That's what Eminem has said. I have to give him props on that one. He said when him and Machine Gun Kelly, now I could be misquoted, I think it was Machine Gun Kelly, had did some reference and made a comment about his daughter Haley, which I respect the fact that he had to come and say, hey, don't come after my child. I don't care how old she is. That's your child. So at the end of the day, when you have that going on, he said, I looked at it like, yeah, Eminem, why aren't you coming out and just murdering this dude on the track? He said, come on, like, I'm Eminem. I come out and get a song dedicated about you. I had to think, do I come after you and really chop you down to the pinche bug? You know, I'm sorry. All right, blood in, blood out. Hashtag. Do I chop you down to the level of where I can? Because you know I can. Or, I mean, because at the same time, if I go after you like that, I get what I need and you hear what I said, but I raise you up. You see?
Mm.
His attention focuses him. Oh, Machine Gun Kelly on the map. Eminem had to even do a track on him. Oh, he going. So he was like, man, I'd rather take the level of where you think I'm bowing down and bowing out, excuse me, and just not even talk about you, because the best way to kill you out of the thought is not saying you at all. And that's the beauty of it. Like
That's my mindset. That's how I had a mindset.
Okay, well, take a piece from my book too. So, no,
Yeah,
that
that's the
makes
type of
sense.
mindset I had too when it came to certain people. Whenever they try to like almost like poke at me and try to make sure, try to get a reaction, right? And that's something that I realize a lot from manipulation is people try to get a reaction out of you, right? They're trying to invoke or provoke a reaction from you, and I just pay them no mind. Like
You have such a
what
gorgeous
is it gonna
smile.
do for
Like
you?
you have such a vibrancy to you. I gotta harass Heck. Everybody, I have to harass Heck. I have to do something. And he's so chill. And it's like it makes you like, man, this is like the chillest cucumber ever. But then it's like when he does get like that, you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa there. Like you get some popcorn and you're like, that's his other nickname. But I'm just saying, like, you get something, you're just kind of like, what's gonna happen? And he might just die down completely, like, yeah, whatever. And you're like, dang, it's like starting a dynamite. And you're like, go, explode. And all of a sudden it's like, and you're like, what? Keep lighting it, like, okay. And then you're like, it just doesn't work. And like at that point right now, I'm like, am I really doing that? But it's not on purpose all the time. He does me too.
I wasn't even talking about you.
He does me too, but he don't even realize. No, I know, but I mean, it's good that I wanted people to know that
You know what? Yeah, that's true.
I
He has
harass him. He's
done that
being
before.
modest with me, everybody, but I really do harass the crap out of him sometimes in a good kind of way.
In a
I put
good, let me
myself
see,
out there. I'm
up way.
telling my truth.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I mean, but I look at it more so from people that I truly don't care about. You know, like a lot of people, like I gotta care about everyone, but it's like if I don't really care about your opinion, your thoughts, your form of mind, why would I pay it any mind? You know, because in my eyes, regardless, you're ignorant because I can see it all over you. You know, I could see by the way you're living that nothing you don't have a foundation to go off of a truth. You have a perception, but it's very low because I can tell by your vibration.
Mm.
Okay.
So it's like lions don't lose sleep over the opinion of sheep.
Exactly.
They eat them.
Exactly. Quote it right there. Exactly.
Well, I'm
Yeah, I
happy
mean,
that
even from certain people, you know, even a lot of people that get to a point of success, they still don't have a certain point of mind. So I know there's going to be later down the line, there's going to be people trying to say, "Oh, Hector this and Hector that." There's some people that have made so much millions and millions of dollars, and they still believe like such lies. Like they're still to the point where like you're either a sheep or you're a wolf. Where's the shepherd? Right? Because we're
Ooh.
coming on and shepherd. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
You aren't
I
just a
like
sheep. You're
that.
not just a
Bars,
wolf.
everybody. Write that
You're a
down,
shepherd.
everyone. Or put that in your phones if you can. Say it one more time. Say it for the people in the back. Heck. What
Yeah, I
happened?
mean, because that's how they look at it. Hey, you're either a wolf or you're a sheep, and it's like, where the shepherd at then? You know, because that's where we're coming at. You know, we were raised to be shepherds. We were raised to leads. And they say that so they can justify their ill intentions. You see what I'm saying? They can justify their actions that are so perverse and corrupted. They say, "Oh, well, I'm doing this because I'm a wolf. You know, I'm screwing over the sheep because I'm a wolf. That's what you got to be." And they say that to justify it. You know, we're like, "Nah, we're
Yeah.
shepherds. We're gonna
Well,
lay our down life for the sheep."
yeah. You
That's
mean
that's how we got to
lay,
be.
lay our life down for the sheep?
Yeah,
Absolutely. And
because
how we
even to
should
that
do.
point, you know, even to that point, we want to like you were talking about last conversation, we were talking about that you were just briefing us on. We were even talking about the foundations of basically money and riches, and you were talking about the gold streets, right? The gold streets and how God
The
isn't
streets of
broke.
gold. Absolutely.
Yeah, how God isn't broke. He said, but it's is the whole point of also He does it for us. You know, all
Mhm.
those streets are for us. It's not like they're for Him. You know,
So
and same way
let's
we
connect
do,
that then.
right?
Exactly.
Same way we want to
Exactly.
be.
Point in case. I had to
Hmm.
interject my interjection. Look at this though. The threading. What is this called again? Threading? Give me a
Following thread.
following the thread. Okay, I know everybody get mad if you want. So at the end of the day, following the thread. Let's thread that out. Why? Why do we have the perception of how did you get in that Armani suit? How did you get into that polo jacket? How did you get into those the new Yeezys or J1s, whatever they're called? I don't know. How did you
Yep.
get into that? Okay, well, I like the song. Okay, following the thread. Okay, why did I
Mm.
like the song? I saw people bopping their heads to it. I didn't like it at first, but I saw that the flow was going to it. Or reverse, give the thread back. I heard the song and I liked it before I heard anybody else listening to it. Okay, so it can go both ways. Why did I like the
Yeah.
lipstick? Because I saw it was really beautiful and I saw a guy's reaction to a woman on a commercial and I thought maybe somebody would like me. All right, reverse the thread. Oh, I like the color of that lipstick and I tried it on the mirror and I just walked around the house with it by myself and I embraced it. Two different
Mm.
cuts on that. Okay, God. God is not broke. Hashtag God ain't broke. Boom. Another conversation. Why is that though? Like, God is so abundant that God is every abundance that there is. Why is it that a person, quote, evil, or quote, what we want to label, won't even give a prayer up, but they know that the faith is theirs. They know that they can use the same manifestation that God put from everyone's law and make it work for them, even if they don't acknowledge the presence of God. You might say, oh, we don't know what they're doing in quiet time. No, they could literally come out and say, I don't have a God or anything else I don't believe in. I myself am a certain kind of feeling to it. They still have the certain principle, whether Bill Gates or Warren Buffett or whoever, or let's say, I can't really speak to the religious parts of people. It doesn't matter if that religion is God. But if you come on there, Beyonce gets up in the morning or whoever, some really high tie Oprah gets up, whatever it might be, their sentence of gratitude to the quote universe, which God is everything that ever created anything. So you're saying God,
Mhm.
basically the creator of it. It's like, why is that principle okay? Why is the thread to the point where we think, oh, if you have money, you're just after evil. If you have
Yeah.
this, it's the, for the love of money. When
The
you love
love
money
of
so,
money.
yeah, you love money so much that you would go hurt someone, rape someone, kill, steal, just to get that going on. I need
The
food.
root of all evil.
Exactly. But if you need food, why aren't you stealing food? Not saying that you should, disclaimer.
Mhm.
But if you needed food, why aren't you going in there and trying to run out with a couple apples or a couple packs of sausages? I would respect that from my store personally. From someone saying I needed something to eat today. Okay, well, he just
To
stole a
feed
couple.
yourself and your family.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
sorry, I'm going on
Yeah,
deacon mode
okay,
right now.
okay. Well, I'm saying like you're throwing me off course a
Yeah.
little with the speakers, but I'm saying like if it, you're not funny, but if it comes down to that, it's like why isn't that the case? Well,
Yeah.
I'm stealing gas because I need to put in my car. But why aren't you asking first? Because if you
Mhm.
ask, you shall receive.
Mm.
Okay, and then if you knock, the door shall be open unto you. And then if you basically have your heart given into it, it's all there. So let's go. Ask and it is given. Seek and
Mhm.
ye shall find. Knock
Mm.
and the door shall be open unto you. Now people want to see this as long parables of oh, it's the Christ factor. It's this. It doesn't matter. The scriptures are the scriptures. God is God. So you can read all day long what the sentiment of homework is for you, or the books and the stuff of the school, whatever you want to say, but it doesn't mean anything if you're not following the guidelines of that teacher and the principle of the school itself, right? So I look
Mm.
at that and I'm thinking, why do we connect the following the thread to riches mean you're serving something of a different breed of quote God. And then if you're poor, you're serving God and you're humble and humility. I don't get that because you're saying that God is going to give me nothing. I just got to praise him and then I have to be poor and humble and I'll have my kingdom of heaven and riches. And don't think so. I don't believe whatsoever. I'm going to throw this out here. Following the
Yeah.
thread, I don't believe that is the case. It's a completely Truman Show TV movie with Jim Carrey. Check it out. Don't endorse it, but check it out. It's just simply reminding yourself of brainwashing, de-brainwashing, following the thread. Why do you like anything? I didn't like carrots for a long time. I remember my mom was chopping them up in the sala, or excuse me, the living room. And when she had put them up, I said, "Can I try one?" She said, "Yeah." I tried it and I spit it out. That was disgusting. I was like, "Ew," it was this weird feeling. And then as I came and chewed it later on in life, I was like, "Man, I missed out on a whole lot." But I also remember that time I was getting abused very bad. So maybe my
Mhm.
head was just like I couldn't be a child. I didn't want anyone else to find out what was going on behind the scenes. I had a lot of enlightenment at that age, where most kids are kind of da 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 da. Just mine was thinking of protecting the perpetrator,
Yeah.
protecting myself, and protecting my family. That's how much I had to think of as a little girl before I even got to sit in class. That's how much. So connecting the thread of it, I do have those problems now. Will I ever be able to change a diaper normally? I don't know. I've heard a lot of people who have been abused in the past say it's hard for them to change a diaper because you're saying to yourself, oh, I'm not doing anything bad. That's what you feel. And you
Yeah.
guys can relate with me. You're like, oh, like, what was that? Well, why are you even thinking? No, you're not even trying to think that way. But
No. Yeah.
the seed that was planted is like, I had scratched my knees when I changed her diaper one time, just on her inner thigh. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I had a freak out. And I was like, I didn't do anything wrong. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? And my friend was like, look, it's okay. My brother, it's okay. It's all right, and it's not your mind's thinking. It's just uncomfortable for me to even think about that because I'm just like, I don't want the seed of negative sources trying to come in my head like you did do something wrong. Not that I ever want to, because I would rather take someone out real quick from them. Just saying. But
All
at the end
right.
of the day, yeah, it's just I want to get to following the thread when it comes down to that. Stop believing that anything good that happens to you is always bad, and think about where that thread leads to.
Yeah.
Stop believing that God, the infinite source of abundance that created everything we see multiplied and multiplied, wants you to be nothing but a complete saturated sinner who is not worthy of love or anything else, but yet you're still breathing. Everything else is like, oh, evil wins. Oh, we're in the devil's territory. So God, okay, but what about the baby that gets saved? What about the person that has their cancer reversed? What about that? So God only works in sprinkles. Get the thread. Pull back. That's what I'm looking at. Pull it back. If you're seeing that right now, oh, I get so yeah. If you're to the point where you can't get out of bed by yourself, when it comes down to something you can't control, yeah, you have to snap back. Well, why am I in this state of mind? Pull the thread. On my 600-pound life, let's just use that example, that TV show. Why am I 600 pounds? Well, it came from this abuse. It came most of the conversation had been
Hmm.
abuse. It came from this. It came from that. Okay, but pull it back. What now that you got the thread to make your full sweater? Why are you still hanging on to something that's empty fruit? Bear back. Okay, well, I'm gonna stop this snack every day, and next week I'm gonna stop this snack every day. I'm gonna change it and swap it out to something every day. It's little incremental steps. I had no idea the other like week ago that I went to the hospital. I lost 28 pounds, and over the point 10.2 months to sit on a computer, I didn't even try. Wasn't even thinking about it. I still had a 40-pound goal because I want to feel lighter on my feet. I'm used to being able to run. I used to walk across town literally miles. I had all that. So at the end of the day, I'm like, I want that back. I don't want what's going on with me to control me, because when I get up, it shouldn't feel like it's a work. It shouldn't feel like bad. And I didn't realize I have a horrible sciatica, different stuff too. So I get it. It's like, oh, you can't control your nerves inside your muscles per se. But I just was like, I want to do the best version of Lex. I want to see how far I can push myself. I've been thicky, thick chick, mocha lish, right? And that's fine. It's just been it. But I want to see myself in a different variation now. We are multiple dimensional beings. And because we're in the
That's
flesh, we
true.
can only see focus. So why not see yourself as multidimensional? Wherever you are right now is a starting place for you to be. I don't care if the doctors told you, and I'm telling you that too, heck. I don't care if you feel there's a huge cancer, a huge tumor, a huge cyst growing. It's not the final chapter. And
Oh
remember,
yeah,
just because
absolutely.
you're not here doesn't mean that you don't have a whole another life waiting for you somewhere else. We're multi-dimensional beings. I'm not saying to off and go off to the Netherlands. Don't force it. God will bring you home when it's time. But at the end of the day, you have to remember life goes on, baby. There's no such thing as one life. We have so many. The Avatar life hashtag, that episode I came out with, the Avatar life. Right now is the flesh, but once we ascend, once we get to that point and things happen, we can have heaven on earth, but not heaven within earth. That's what I'm saying. Heaven on earth might be seeing your kids run outside. And
Yeah.
Heck's version of being ready for his daughter is so beautiful, and being able to see his son manifest. That could be his version of heaven on earth, is seeing his little babies run to him and having their arms out and just having breakfast with the kids, and seeing the, I want to see goats and sheep and cows just enjoying themselves, and the cats and the dogs harassing each other. Seeing the sun rise, to me, that could be a heaven on earth from what we know. But the kingdom of heaven is within. So remember that. We're never far away from it. So I had to drop
Yeah,
the mic. Boom. Drop it.
that's true. That's
We can
exactly how
stick
we
that on
follow
there
the
right
thread.
now. Yeah,
That's
I just
exactly
wanted
how
to
we follow the thread.
salute. Salute. I'm surprised I have so much energy the way I thought I was gonna have right now. Just like
Yeah, me too.
our new apparel is coming on too, everyone. So we'll be having that on there. And I know right now the green team's on, but my other logo for RDC is a little lower on the chest area, and I could bring it down, but I want to have something that kind of represents if I can. And if you are a designer, reach out. If you want to be on the Truth Seekers Mastermind Alliance from your perception, please. We're gonna have some wonderful guests. Now, there's gonna be some controversial guests coming on to a lot of you what you believe, even people who believe in tarot card reading. Now
Mhm.
we had that off at first, but it's not for us to go back and forth and headbutt them. But we want to see how they came to be in that world, what is speaking to them in that world, and how they define God. I think it's good
Mhm.
to go into
I
things.
want to. Yeah, you know what?
Yeah,
I was
what I mean.
wondering
That's what I was
that.
thinking, because we had. I'm
Hmm.
sorry to those who have been low key rejected. Okay, I know you had conversations as to why you weren't able to come on the show, and at the point we were at, it wasn't for that level to a conversation to go on. But now the Truth Seekers Mastermind Alliance is not to promote the fact of what you're doing, but break down why you're doing it. If people are
Yeah.
into that and they're going to follow you, that's fine. That's up to them. We can't choose that. But I'm not going to also keep a cover on the things we need to uncover. So yeah, to all you mediums, to whatever else is going on in the conversation, remember, it's the Truth Seekers Mastermind Alliance. So don't assume someone's going to be sitting there, completely nodding their head. It's going to be questions. It's going to be different things going on.
Conversation.
Yeah, you don't want to deal with heck on your own. So I have to watch. He could go in, people. You don't know this man might be calm and relaxed right now. He's chill. But when he goes in and he starts getting that depth, he has that extra. I call it the God fire. That's what it is. So
I'm
anyway.
like, but why? Why? Why do you
Oh,
believe
why?
that?
Wait.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy from Austin Powers,
Yeah, the Austin. Oh, if you can't see me, everybody, I'm doing the Austin Powers little pinky on the
evil
side
guy,
of my mouth.
evil Pinky.
So yeah, I want to say connecting the thread means a lot of things. So
Oh yeah.
do you want to clap back on it, or what are you thinking?
No, I actually like that because it comes from all the way around from the point of following even not our own thread to uncover where we come from
Yeah.
and where the person that we are today and how we got to here, but also like you said, following the thread to the foundation. That's why we got history. I never really liked history, I'm gonna be honest. History class, one of my least favorite classes. But going and finding out certain things that needed to have like Renaissance period. I never really learned about that. I only learned about like
Well,
American
that's a
history.
whole. We can't even go on
I'm
that
like,
because
yeah,
the history,
once
the
we start
history
going
just got
back,
revamped since George Floyd passed
yeah,
away. Rest in peace. It literally did for teachers saying they want and students saying they want the truth of what happened in history. I was bored because I always heard of what happened with the slaves and this and the
yeah.
conquistadors, and I was always like, why do they always make it seem like people of color are so weak and they, like they just
Yeah, that's why I like the Alamo because it
yeah,
was like a
we
couple a
take you
couple
off the
men
leash.
versus
Yeah, that's
hundreds
kind
of
of like
men.
yeah. I
And I
didn't
was
want to
like,
hear
all right,
about a bunch of old. In my mind at the time, I was like, I don't want to hear about a bunch of old Caucasian men that are doing this and that, like their forefathers and standing up and doing the Pledge of Allegiance. I was like, what's? I didn't understand that. Like
yeah,
I pledge allegiance to the flag every morning. I was like, what? I'm like under God, individual. I'm like, okay. So the only thing that saved me from saying that was God. I was like, why are we doing this in the morning? I pledge
yeah,
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the what is it?
Republic,
To the republic for which it stands, one God,
one nation
indivisible,
under
with
God.
liberty and justice for all. Okay,
Yeah,
that's what it was. I started getting excited about it after a while. I was like, I pledge allegiance to the flag. I was in school.
yeah, I did too. I did too for a little
Yeah, it
bit.
was something to kind of like do, Jefferson Jaguars. We're the Jaguars and Jeffers in school. That's what it was. I had the whole gymnasium singing. I was just like, we are in our work, in our play, we are happy. We can say we're the Jaguars and Jeffers in school. We are something. Our school is the very best of all. Hoorah! And whatever you say, we can or something. I don't know. We're the Jaguars, but it was really good. It was a long time ago, but it was fun. It was fun to do it. So yeah, hashtag Jefferson. Well, my best
Hashtag easy
poetry
pinky.
contest there. Yeah, I'm only giving this energy because I feel the resonance of all those who are listening. And we're in Hector and I both have sniffles bad. We have sinuses going on. I have my wisdom teeth coming on. Oh yes, I said that, and I
Oh
feel
yeah. Oof.
yeah. So now these body ones
Painful.
are coming in here. These one right here, a little swollen right here. I feel very swollen right here. But it just
Mm.
shows you that pushing past the pain is one of the segments we're gonna have before. Like, not to say you should bleed out and just go seek it through until you finish cooking on the stove. I'm just saying, like, when you push past it, him and I gotta be like, oh, it's just drowsy, it's gloomy, it's about 35 degrees here.
Yeah, we be going even whenever we're sick. We just be,
Yeah,
let's get to it.
yeah,
No sick days.
yeah. No sickness. So I just want to say that I'm very, very thankful for all of you who have been a part of this conversation. This is opening something for you to
Hmm.
join, and we will be having our conversations of the Apocrypha, the Book of Enoch, and having more of a read off and different stances with that, as well as just being a part of it. It's about us coming together as a community. And when we start doing more lives itself, or just send in a request at Real Double Dose Channel at yandex.com, and that's yandex.com, and as well as flip the DA switch SWITCH at reborn reborn.com. You can send that over and you can just say, hey HVH, I want a boom boom boom, or you can say whatever to
Hey,
Angela. HV, heck versus hell. Subject line, whatever you need to say. We will be checking spam. I'm kind of bad at that. Angela's a little better at it. But I want you to be able to have that conversation. If you want to leave any comments from where you are, please be mindful of leaving the comments that you do. Obviously, those out there who are just trying to get attention or a rise, you will be responded to, removed, and reported. I just got to say that. Responded, removed, and reported. The 3 R's. Remember that. We will respond to you first. Okay, just to give you a little clap back on what you're saying. Okay. You will be removed. And then when they ask us why we're removing you, we'll say we also want to report you because you're not being there. Now, it's okay for you to share your thoughts. Don't get wrong, where you can't say anything. You can say what you have to say, but attacking people, spamming people, having negative conversations that have nothing to do, and it states really clearly on the guidelines of what you do for the community. I just want you all to be aware. Don't be diarrhea at the brains and the mouth when you feel an emotional feeling because you're just having a bad
yeah.
day. Why don't you share that with us?
Why don't you follow the thread
Yeah,
of why you
follow
feel
the
that
thread,
way?
following the thread of where it comes
Yeah.
from, and let us also help elevate you from what you're feeling potentially from either the conversation or what you're going through in life. Share what's going on with you or the threads that you need to talk about as well, because we would love that. Maybe we'll feature it on a conversation and ask you to be a part of it, or even leave a synopsis that we can read off if you don't want to be on screen, or an audio. That would be great. So without that, I'm gonna let Heck have my intro because he needs to give that flair. You know what I'm saying? A little flavor right there. My intro, not intro.
Without being said, yep, thank you all for coming and joining us. We love each and every one of you. Remember to feel the pain. Feel the pain.
He really
Be
got it out
the
for y'all.
change. Remember to be the change, feel the passion, and embrace the power of the wonderful spirit within that is always thriving and wanting to come out of you to make sure that you are living to the real you as a spiritual being that you were called to be. Okay? We
Well,
love
he
you all.
tried. He tried it. He
I
tried it.
tried.
It
I
was
tried.
it was amazing.
I
So
said,
I'll
be the
also be
pain.
the pain. That's right. We'll see you on the flip side. We love you. Thank you for being a part of our wonderful ambiance and the conversations we have, and be looking out for another episode that'll say specifically hashtag the Truth Seekers Mastermind Alliance. Don't forget to check out every Friday at RDC, which is Real Double Dose Channel, Real Double Dose Channel. That's HBH, Heck versus Hell, and that's going to be aired every Friday before 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Sometimes it does pop up on a Saturday, depending on what may happen. Remember, life is a part of what we're living here. As well as check out the Mondays and Wednesdays. We have Wednesday tip segments coming out with different rotations of our own secret sauce team members that are forever, always endlessly wanting to appease us.
Mm-hmm.
We'll put it that way. But either way, we'll be having those out and new guests coming out. Sundays will be aired as well as Monday with my episodes and Wednesdays also. In between, it's going to be a full broadcast channel at this point.
Oh, we're going
It's
in.
going to be at least 4 episodes of different people coming in every day or every other day. So just be tuning in. And we thank you for all the new follows. Yes, thank you all and your new downloads. We see those. Thank you.
New love,
to everyone that's coming on to the Real Double Dose channel as well as Heck versus Hell. But I just wanted to say, we wanted to say send our love and thank you to you coming in. We plan on giving you a lot more stuff. And I remember that right now because I saw all those follows new and different ones from all the different platforms we're on, as well as the downloads and reposting and hearts that you show over to HBH every time you get a chance to. So we know he has his tribe going on, but yeah, we love you. You're amazing. And we'll be back with you very, very soon.